Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I present to you another LEGO creation. Today's creation is the HK416-C. Now, funny thing about this build is I actually intended to build the HK433 instead, or most of you know it as the Kilo 141 from Modern Warfare 2019. Well, that gun was a bit hard to build for me, so I decided to build something that is also from HK, but a little bit easier. Point is, the HK433 is a bit hard to build for me, so instead I built this, the HK416-C, which I find pretty cool. Now, why did I build the HK416-C instead of the normal HK416? Well, I've already built a few versions of the AR platform, and another typical buffer tube stock was a bit boring for me, so I decided to make something different, but still familiar to the AR formula. So anyways, what you can basically see what the difference is from the HK416-C and the HK416. The HK416 usually uses typical AR style stocks that go on the buffer tube, but as you can see, the stock is way different. This is a extendable stock, which I'll show you in a minute. So as usual, I'll start where I started building the build. I started with the grip. So you know, HK grips are pretty cool looking in my opinion, but a bit hard to replicate in terms of the shape. But well, I think this shape is pretty good. I guess I'm pretty proud of it. I like it a lot. One thing you might see that is familiar if you watch Jim's videos is this thing here. I borrowed it from his version of the HK416-C, but he used a different grip. This grip is entirely my own design. I only borrowed the concept of using the slopes for this part here. So that's basically about it. The entire thing is original, from what I can tell. Anyways, that's basically about it for the grip. Now moving on, we have a pretty simple trigger guard and a trigger. Another one of those brick built triggers. They look way better than the Technic brick, not Technic brick. They look way better than the ones that are built with Technic. So yeah, that's basically about it. And here is the standard magazine release design I use for the AR platform guns. So it works basically the same as the one on my M16 or my M4 that I've built, like, I don't know, about a year ago, I think it was. Not really sure. Anyways, let's take a look at the mag. Whoops. Yeah, the problem with these kind of angled mags that are built like this, they are very easy to break. So yeah, anyways, here's the dummy bullet. Now you can see it's missing a 1x8 tile. That's because I sort of ran out, and well, this design doesn't particularly work well with my magazine wells. Now it would work well if it didn't have this bracket built section here, which I'll talk about in a moment. So basically, it just generates way too much friction, and well, it doesn't feel good to put in or pull out. Well, that sounded a bit weird, but anyways, this is the standard 30 round mag for the HK416-C. Now, both the HK416 and the HK416-C are chambered in 5.56 by 45 NATO, which is basically the standard 5.56 variant used by the nations that are in the NATO sort of team, I guess, because there's many types of 5.56, of course, like how there are many different types of 9mm. Like we've got 9mm Makarov, 9mm Parabellum, for example. So yeah, there are many types of bullets like that. So anyways, on to the magwell, specifically the bracket build area. This is how I did it, because you know the bottom section of the magwell actually sort of bulges out, you could say. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it just bulges out, so I had to use this. I also used this technique on my M16 and my Scar. Now, from the reference pictures I used, it doesn't really look like it's completely flat. It's sort of a bit slanted, but well, from the builds I've seen of the HK416, most of them just do it flat like this, so might as well. And it's not really angled enough to make it slanted, so anyways. Moving on to the top of the receiver. Now you can probably see a pattern with this build is that I actually tried to color code it. I actually tried to color code this build. The receiver, the lower receiver is black and the grip is gray, and the part of the upper receiver is gray, but I sort of failed in doing that because I underestimated the well not underestimate, I used it wrongly. I overestimated the amount of parts I had, so I guess that's a problem. But I recently bought a few more pieces that I will be using in future builds, and I even used some of them in this build, but I'll show you that part later. So yeah, I'll be buying more gray parts, I guess. Anyways, moving on. This is the same design of the dust cover as I used on my M16, but with a little bit of modification. Sorry about that, I'm a bit sick recently. I don't know why, my nose is just very sensitive. Anyways, standard AR platform design. We have the forward assist, which basically just helps the bolt return to this position when it gets stuck. So yeah. Now moving on to the stock, you can see that here that there is actually a buffer tube. Of course, AR platform rifles must and do have buffer tubes, or else they wouldn't work, because the spring is actually housed in the buffer tube, and without a spring, the bolt cannot return. Anyways, here is the extending stock, or the retractable stock, whatever you call it. So it's held in with brackets, as you can see from the side, hopefully. Anyways, here's the switch at the bottom. It's actually spring loaded, so that's pretty cool. I'll remove the stock to show you. It's a bit hard to do this one-handed. Alright, guess I'll put the gun down. Then just push this up. Oh, it doesn't want to work. God damn it. Give me a moment. Why is it stuck? Alright, maybe it's because it is getting... Right, here you can see another hole for it to lock onto. I guess I'll try to show you. So you push it down and try to pull it out, but it doesn't want to come out for some reason. God damn it, come on. Just come out, please. I said please, please come out. Stop embarrassing me. Alright, I'm going to make a edit. Right, I fixed the problem. Anyways, here I push the damn thing down, and you can see here's a notch here. It locks on. Nice, I guess. Now I'll remove this, and I'll remove the stock entirely, and I'll set the build aside. Right, here's the stock. So yeah, pretty standard design. You can see there's a hole here for the buffer tube cap to sort of reside in when it's in the retracted position. And here are the new parts I was talking about, these 1x2 inverted slopes that are 3 bricks tall. I don't really have a lot of these, and I actually intend to buy more of them, but the shop I bought them at was didn't have a lot of them in stock, so I just bought it out. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for the stock. I'll be putting it aside just like the magazine. Now we'll be back onto the gun. Right. And here it is. So yeah, again, here's the brass deflector, which deflects brass, hence the name brass deflector. Now I'll just show you the bolt and the charging handle. Most of you probably know that AR platform rifles have a non-reciprocating charging handle, which means the bolt moves independently of the charging handle. So as you can see, when you pull the charging handle back, the bolt moves with it. But if I use the the bolt catch, hopefully I can. Alright, I got it. As you can see, it is locked and the charging handle can move independently. No friction, nothing pulling it back at all. And when you push the button down, it returns. So that's basically what non-reciprocating means. Yeah, that's basically about it for this section. While we're here, might as well talk about the rear sight. Now the rear sight is a modification of the one that is on Jim's design, but his is 5 studs long, mine is just 4. So yeah, just a minor god damn it, I hit the camera again. Really gotta find a better setup. Anyways, it folds like it should. So yeah. Now moving on to the handguard. Now the handguard actually took the most time to find a good design for. Mainly because of the side rails. I couldn't get the right height, I guess, for a 3-stud wide rail. So yeah, here it is. And at the bottom, I think this here is the sling mount. I'm not really sure. I think it is. I don't really remember clearly, but yeah. Now we had front. This section here is the gas block. This is the barrel, and this is the rear sight front sight. Sorry about that. The front sight that folds down when you want to use an optic, or for storage reasons. You don't really want your iron sights being folded out when you are storing it, because well, your gun might fall or hit something and you don't really want your iron sights breaking. Anyways, since we're talking about the gas block area, might as well tell you that the HK416-C or HK416 has a minor difference to the AR platform, which is it uses a short stroke piston system. Now the AR platform, or the more famous ones like the M4 or the AR-15, they don't use pistons. they only have a gas tube that just directly blows gas into the bolt and pushing it back. Now the HK416 doesn't. It has a short stroke piston. Now, what's the difference between a short stroke piston and a long stroke piston? I'm not particularly sure, but I'm guessing it's just the piston is just shorter. Now, one of the most famous guns for using a piston system is the AK-47 or the AK platform. Now, the AK platform usually uses a long stroke piston system instead of a short stroke, but usually shorter guns use shorter piston systems. Like, I think the AKS 74U that shoots the 545 also uses short stroke since the gun is shorter, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. I don't really remember that clearly, but I think it does. So anyways, enough about gas systems and stuff. Let's take a look at the top rail. Pretty standard design. Now if you're wondering how I built the rails on top of a 4 wide plate, is I used jumper plates like usual. I'll take it off for you to see. Here are a ton of jumper plates and I just connect it like that. Pretty easy. So now, well, since you can probably tell that my guns are starting to look better in terms of color, well, that's because I'm putting more effort into the videos. So of course the videos are going to take longer to release and make. Sorry about that, I'm being a bit gassy recently. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Videos are gonna take even longer because, well, I'm putting more effort into them since, well, my channel's starting to get bigger. Well, it's not really that big, but it's growing. So of course I have to improve my content, and one of the ways of doing that is improving my builds. As you can see, the colors are starting to look way better. I will invest some money into buying more parts, but not a lot at once since, well, I don't have a job. It's not like I'm old enough to get a job anyways, but you know. Anyways, that's basically about it for this build. Now again, I have a few things to talk about. During this building process for the HK416, I, well, learned a lot about building AR platform rifles. So in the previous video, not the previous video, but one of the previous videos, like the one that included the M16, I complained about how I didn't like building AR platform rifles because of the handguard easily breaking off because of the weight, because it's just connected by 2 studs. But you can see that this one doesn't have that problem because of the top rail section here connecting it to the receiver, and it won't break that easily because of the weight. So I might, and that's a very big might, I might rebuild another version of my M4. It will be the Mark IV. I know I said I wouldn't make another M4, but well, when there's a chance to improve, why not take it? So I guess stay tuned for that. But of course, I'm not going to make an M4 for the next video. I'm going to do something else because I don't want to make too many similar guns. That might bore you guys out unless you guys really like AR platform rifles. But it will get boring for me. So I'll be building something else, but I won't tell you guys because a surprise is way more fun, isn't it? Anyways, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.